Coming straight out of Ecamm. This is a jam of the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the jam. This is a jam of the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the jam. This is a jam of the Ecamm fam. It's a jam of the Ecamm fam. This is a jam of the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the jam.
Hold it, stop the music!
Ladies and gentlemen.
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 Can I please have your attention?
Now showtime, are you ready? Are you ready for start time?
Let's find out. Ready, let's go.
Yeah, man. Why you do we? Why you do? Hey, no. All right, now here we go. I'm checking out. I have something is going on strange. Let me turn it down. Okay, anyway. So now we're cooking with Pam. Welcome to the Ecamm Live demo. I'm going to show you how to use all of the cool stuff, inside Ecamm Live. And this might be your first time around these here parts. And before we get into that, I wanted to talk to you about something that I think is kind of important if you haven't done so lately. If you have been live streaming or doing whatever it is we do for the whole 3 years, starting beginning, middle of the Panini. It is time to do should happen twice a year, but for me, I do it 3 or 4 times a year. Check with your ISP, call them up this weekend, make it a note, put it in your calendar, get out your pen and write down, Doc said, call my ISP. In my case, Spectrum, right? And you call them and ask them, am I getting what I am paying for? And they'll be like, what do you mean? All right, I'll say I'm on the $89 a month plan. What are current new subscribers getting for $89 a month? And they'll be like, oh, well, they're getting our gig platform. And you'd be like, say what again? And they'd be like, well, I'm getting my gig platform, which is, 1 gig up, 1 gig down. And you're like, yeah, man, I'm on 300 by 20 for that same $89. What you finna do about that? And they'll give you a bunch of hootenanny flip-flap works in the route. They'll tell you things like, oh, you can't do that. It's only for new customers, whatever. If you dig hard enough or ask for the retention department for whomever you work with, there's people that can just override all of the nonsense and they can bring you up to speed. I recently did that. I think you guys remember last Friday or the Friday before last, everything went stupid over here because they came in, I got my gig fiber installed. It broke my network in the basement. So I had to have them come in and redo stuff in the basement. But now basically I get down here 600 down and 40 up. And then in my house, I got gig both directions, bidirectional, asynchronous, whatever you want to call it. On the other side of that note, real quick, and then we'll get into the demo. The other thing you're going to want to check is you're going to want to check to make sure that your router that you bought at Costco 3 years ago is up to snuff, whatever the new speeds that you're getting. So it turns out that even though I use all professional equipment, my current gateway, which is the commercial network person's term for a router, what you normal humans call a router, we call it gateway. My gateway had a maximum throughput speed of 450. What? Yeah. So I got the new highfalutin network, but my router wasn't able to push all of that info. So I had to go out and get a new router. So I just ordered me a Unified Dream router because this is one of the dopest routers in the game, and it doesn't look like a freaking bat or an old airplane or something. This is pretty dope. It looks like Baymax. So, yeah, if you're still rocking old network equipment, now's the time to check to make sure that your equipment is able to keep up with the speeds you're getting, and also check to see if you're getting the speeds that you're paying for. All of the above will probably help you in the long run with your live streaming capabilities. Okay, now let's get into the demo. I just had to give you a public service announcement because it was fresh in my dome. All right, here we go. This is Ecamm Live. I know this ain't what y'all are used to seeing. And part of the reason for that is I was hanging out with Kirk last night on the Kirk stream, Kirk Nugget, and Kirk said when he does his Ecamm Live training, he likes to start the stream completely ball-ass naked. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting thought. And he says, yeah, because some people get the O word when they see all of the boxes and whatnot. And I'm like, well, something wrong with them. But it actually makes sense. If you immediately open the app and you see all of the boxes and you don't know what all the boxes mean, it can freak you out. I would say there's other issues you need to tend to if you're freaked out by software, but hey, I'm evil like that. So let's work with it like this. We're going to start from basic, right? Let's see. If you think about the way we do this, this is what Ecamm looks like on the back end if you were to just turn off all the windows except for one. I did leave the scene window open. This is your master window, right? Now, this guy is sizable, so like you can grab the end and make it big, make it small, like whatever. I use mine about right here, right? That's just me. That's how I roll. You can do whatever you need to do. We're going to start with looking at scenes. But before we get into scenes, I want to explain to you that we do support something that is known as profiles. I'm laughing because I read Fulgen's comment because I knew the reel that I sent Fulgen's would crack him up. Anyway, I'm sorry. Okay, so in profiles, you'll see here, I have a couple of profiles. Oh, you hit the right buttons, boy. I have affiliate stream. I have my Amazon live stream, the Ecamm Live demo, my Final Cut Global Summit because I be doing trainings over there. I have my IG live stream. I have my LGL, which is my personal stream. I have my LinkedIn stream. I have one for the flow, and I have one for doing tutorials called They Don't Read. Snarky little fella, ain't he? Anyway, so in these profiles, I want you to think these profiles up as like houses, right? So I'm rich. These are all of my houses. And in each house, you're going to have a different type of furniture, right? And you're going to have different rooms, and inside each room, you're going to have different furniture. So in this particular house, the Ecamm Live demo, let me go ahead and pull up a map of all of my rooms, and that would be scenes, okay? So you'll see in here, I have a room, I have a room called Intro. I have a room called Host that we're currently in. I have a room called Overhead, right? And then I have a room called Mahalo, right? So if I were to switch into the Overhead room, well, let me do something real quick. If I were to make a blank room, AKA blank scene, if I make a blank scene, it's an empty room. Well, not really because I have a throw rug in there, but we won't talk about that for just 1 second. Normally, you're not even going to see this. Normally, even this is missing from the scene. It's just black, right? So if I were to open up the overlay window, think of this as like my furniture designer. If I was the 86 this is what happens when you walk into a blank room. In this particular room, I have a camera, right? This camera right here. So if I were to remove this camera, now I have an empty room. I'm going to put down my purple rug because it's the 80s. And then I'm going to put down my camera. That's it, right? When I come to the overhead room, it's going to look like the other room, but different camera. You know what I mean? It's simple. Simon says to the pieman, went to the fair. So this, my friends, is a blank scene. Now, what I'm going to do is down here in the bottom of my furniture designer, AKA overlay windows, I'm going to pip on a camera. Boom, there it is. This camera is too large, so I can just make it smaller, right? If you go to a place and the couch that you have is one of them sectionals and it's too big, take some sections up, right? So you can adjust. I also, for this particular room, I want to use a different shape. I'm going to go to squircle, all right? So now I got a squircle, right? And so with my squircle in tow, I'm going to slap it over here like such, and then hold down the Option key and drag over another copy, right? Now, I have these little lines that pop up that kind of tell me that these two guys are in accordance with each other. It's a lot easier, right? Now, I want to go ahead and add a piece of text. So if I check down here in the bottom, you'll see I have a T that says New Text Overlay. I hit that, it brings up these two windows right here, right? In these windows, it allows me to type some text. So let's get to typing. I'm gonna just leave it like that. I'm gonna did it wrong. All right, so in here, I'm gonna highlight this bottom part and I'm gonna use a divisible of 8, make it smaller. It just seems to work a little bit better. 24 works in this case. I'm gonna take this particular part and bold it up a little bit so it looks a little bit more cool. And then I'm gonna take this part and I'm gonna hit it with a regular. All right. Boom. Simple assignment, said to the department, now we're going to the fair, right? I can hit this and then highlight that. I'm going to bring that to like a 24. In this particular case, I'm going to do 28. And let's do medium italics. And then I'm going to press on that little thing and then colorize it. All right, there we go. We're going to add that. Boom. There's my lower third. Simple. Let me dip out. There you go. So now I have my lower third. This is too big, but what I do is I'll shrink it to about what I like and then pull this out because I like it to look like that. It's just me. You do you, right? Now there is my setup. All I need to do is bring this over here, and now I add it for my guests. Okay, I'm going to turn on the comments window so I can see what y'all speaking on. And there we go. So let's pick on Larry this week. So I'm going to take this one. Put Larry. And then let me just do this. This is probably wrong, but stick with me. Okay, and then we'll put him as, all right, boom. So now I got Larry in there. That's it. Now all I have to do is set my camera up so that when I bring in my guest, which will be Larry, Larry will sit right there. And that is that simple. I have completely set up my host and guest situation. The only thing I'm going to do now is double click on this title and put host plus guest. There you go. So that is a simple way to set this up. Again, you think about, I have a room called host plus guest. I have a background, call that my area rug. I have my 2 cameras and then my 2 overlays. So what type of stuff can you slap in as overlays? If you look down here on the bottom of this here picture, you have, let me make that bigger. You have an image overlay, an animated overlay, a screen share, text box, which you just saw me manipulate, a clock or a countdown, whatever's, and then, actually, this should be timers, really, but we won't get into that. A new widget, cameras we did, and folders to store everything in. Before we get too far, let's store these in folders so we don't make a mess out of what's going on over here. So let me embiggen this real quick. I'm going to click on this folder, and then I'm going to call this particular group Larry. So I'll stick in Larry's name and Larry's camera. And then if I close this, if I turn it off, you'll see they disappear, right? Let me see. Let me dip out a second. So if I turn it on and off, it basically comes together as a group, right? Now, if I link this together by going in here and clicking the little link box, not only will they turn off as a group, they'll move. Ooh, don't do that, Doc. They'll move as a group, right? So I can, control it like that. All right. So let me do this one more again. Click on this first, put the camera there, and then be like host, bam, and then drag it in. You can see the little blue line lets you know that you're in there like swimwear. And then I put the camera underneath, lock that sucker together, boom. And now this one also operates as a group. All right, then. We don't have the ability. Oh, Larry, that's so good. We don't have the ability yet to size them together. So if you do make a size adjustment, you need to do it manually. They're working on it. Okay, so there's that. Yes, I love the lines help you line things up. It really does help. The snap to grid or snap to point. Again, you can adjust that sensitivity down in the thing. Roy, you're already a random cool dude, bro. You're already a random cool dude. All right, so real easy to get in here and make the scenes the way you want it. They're a lot of people will go in and throw a grid on here. You can download grids from the interweb, just around about anywhere, which I will show you in the splits. Let me get my Chrome tablature squared away and then set it up so that I can select-icate it. So let's go ahead and do another one real quick. I'm going to make a new room, and this one I'm going to call Browser. Browser. Pow! All right. I don't know why it says new browser. So I'm going to show you a couple of browser ways to do this. I can click this first, which is give me a screen share overlay, right? It's the one that kind of sort of looks like an iMac. And then I can press on here, and I can choose my entire primary display, which is what you're looking at now. I can choose my entire secondary display, which is my script, or my third display, which is my other guy, right? But I don't even like that. I like to go straight to Chrome, and then boom. Now, with Chrome, I'm getting too many things. So what I want to do is select the actual one I want. So in Chrome, if I have a couple tabs open, I can kick the main joint that I want to see. In this particular case, it was me using Alphonic because I'm making a commercial. You guys will see one of these commercials probably on Monday. Anyway, hey, so here I might go video, boom, and then go to images, and then you can see where you can get, grids to help you out, right? I personally just would use a standard box grid, but you can easily get this. You can go make them in Canva. You can make them in Illustrator, but there's tons of ways to do this, right? Here's one that's all about screen grids. That would just show you, things that you can line up for. We do some lineup automatically, but if you want to get really, really intense with it, that's how you can do. Here's a good one. Here's an even more smaller one that's more based around website designs, but you can go in here and look for grids. I have a grid on my computer somewhere, but yeah, if you're designing and you want to be super, super particular about it, go ahead and get yourself a grid. It will make your life easier. And all I get to do is put it in there. Now, again, easy to make in Canva, but I was just showing you could probably download something if you choose to. This is kind of cool because it's giving you a couple different layouts, and you can use these as for ideas of how to get screens. Now, what I normally do personally, here's a good one right here, right? What I normally do personally is I go out and find me a TV show, like a talk type show that I've been vibing with, and I just like the look of it, and I want to be able to grab something from that, right? So let's do Marche Madness, and then click over here into the video section, and I'm looking for somebody who's talking spicy from a breakdown. No, not good. I actually don't want to play any videos and get us in any trouble, but let me go to YouTube. It'll be easier. Go to YouTube, and then let me hit a March Madness. There's somebody talking about these games. These are all highlight reels. I don't want to see the whole full replay. Dang, let's do this one. Let's do everyone's favorite. Boom. All right, yeah, here's a good one right here, right? We can use this Michael Wilbon type setup, right? So I want to catch them when there's the two of them, doing their thing. Make sure he's muted. Let me scroll till I find a two shot. Don't play. I just saw a two shot. There's a two shot. Okay, so hit the theater mode. Grab yourself a screenshot type situation tool, and then just make a copy, right? Boom. I'm going to pick this baby up, and I'm going to turn it loose over here in Ecamm. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out for a second, make a new scene, delete this here, and then paste it in. All right, so this is my basic layout template that I want to use. Now, all I got to do, I'm going to open my camera switcher. I'm going to drop in the camera, click on the pencil, change this to custom, line this up to the upper corner like this here, and then pull. Right? I'm going to give a little room because I'm going to leave my borders on. You don't have to make it exact. You just got to get it to how you want to get it. Now, I'm going to cover up Mike's ugly face with another copy of myself. Right? Now, what we just realized right here is that theirs doesn't exactly line up. That's okay. We'll forget about that and we'll move it over a little bit more. We're just getting it close. We don't have to make it perfect. Now, I want to grab me a text box. And in this particular text box, we're going to do that's going to be my topic for today. And then I'm going to flip this, change my background to the orange, and then take the border off. Okay? And I'm going to leave it on center. Bam. So now I want to put that there, make it about even, and then pull this out to the edge. Boom. Boom. Actually, I would pull it all the way to the all the way edge, right? Now, the bottom I'm going to leave open for comments, right? Because that's just where I want my comments to go. Now, if I had a bunch of things that I wanted to go down in some sort of a list, you could do that, or you could just make your own by, making another text box, right? So I can shrink this box back, double click this, boom, hit it back to the right, and then I'm selling. Now, we have things like Uno's dot overlays, which will actually make this exactly perfect how you want it. But in this particular case, I'm just going to size this down to how I want it. Right? And then I can place it over here on the side. Right? If you had, you wanted to give it a little bit longer, you can do things like throw a space in between. And then, yeah, so we kind of set up right there, right? I'm going to add me a clock because I want to. So I'll hit the clock real quick just so you guys can see what that is. Let's pull that to a regular time and date. I mean, standard clock. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. And then let's give this a different color so we don't confuse. Go back to white. We want that. Click that. Different color. Boom. Right? And I'm going to throw this up here, kind of like they got it. And then, yeah, I'm going to call it a day. Like, so again, all I got to do now is turn this off, and I have my general layout that's not dissimilar from what you just saw on the other show, but I just adjusted it for the way I wanted it to be. I don't have to copy them. You see what I'm saying? But you see, people ask about, like, you know, doing a layout or something, and I would just challenge you to go find a show that you like and then basically create that layout, right? I like this to stick off just a little smidge, and I'll slightly grow it like that. I still got room for comments, so if I bring my comments up, I can have that right here. There's Mr. Paul. If I want to make it better, I would actually put this up to cover that and make sure that this landed on the end of that box. And then bam. So let me hide my my boxes. I hit Command tilde, as you can see on the screen. That basically hides the boxes. And look, in there like swimwear. Super simple. Find something you see on TV that you like and then go get it, you know, and design it out how you want it. Now, again, if we were to dip over to overlays.uno real quick, which I will show you guys, they got this already set up for you. But if you want to build your own, it's not that hard. For right now, overlays.uno is free. I'm assuming they're going to eventually get to charging folks. But look, what we were just doing is sort of like this right here. It's actually all built in. And then, I'm going back home then. Let me go try overlay. I'm going to just copy this. I'm going to show you how this works. It's super simple, right? It's loading. All right, so there's the overlay section. All I need to get this overlay to work is to copy this URL, okay? I'll make a blank scene. I made a duplicate. My bad. Let's make a blank scene. And then I'm going to click on the widget icon down here in the bottom. It looks like a globe, right? Inside my widget icon, I'm going to paste in that URL. I'm using 4K, but I'll put 1920 by 1080, right? I'm going to click high resolution mode, and I'm going to click keep it running. Keep running. And I'm going to add the widget overlay. Give it a second to think, and now it's thinking. So now all I have to do is line this baby up and then pull it down. Boom. There it is. Basically there, and it's live. Now, you say, but hey, there's no picture. There's no you yet. Okay, cool. All I have to do is in my master window, switch it to camera, right? So I can shrink this just a little bit, come back over here, turn on the camera, and then pick it back out. There you go. We're in there like swimwear. We are in there like swimwear. Now, you might be like, well, that don't say what I wanted to say. And I'm like, okay, cool. You come back to the overlays.uno, which is here. Let me make this larger, right? So we can decide whether we want the live bug on or not. The live bug is this piece right here at the top. So I might turn that off. And then we have the lower third. I'll leave that there. I'll take my talking points. To get to talking points, check it out. All I got to do is come over here and we'll say sort of what we were working on. First of all, it is not December 8th. Where is the clock? Because, yeah, it is definitely not December 8th. Ticker, we'll put all of that in there. There's my lower thirds. Let me see. There's the live bug. And I'm pulling off a local time. Yep, let's do that. And then go to my settings real quick. You can say how many panels you got. You can select your colors and stuff in here. You can customize your whole entire overlay by changing these things in here, right? So you got your topic and your topic color. If I turn that off, that goes. Okay, So first thing we need to do is 24. Never will I live to see another 24. Okay? And then we're going to talk about, let's see. What do we want to talk about today? Let's do now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm going to stop right here. I'm only going to do 2 because I want you to see the power of this. Okay? So here is the power of this. I'm going to click this URL right here. Copy that. Okay? I'm going to take this URL and I am going to open up my phone and I'm going to click on the word Paul Duncan. And then I'm going to paste that URL. I just sent that URL to Paul Duncan. Now, if I come back over here to where we were, you see the updates that I've made, right? You saw the fact that I've turned off the live book, but I can turn it back on. Even if I turn it on from the browser, it updates here. But because I sent this link to Paul, Paul can actually go in and change everything on the fly while I'm doing what I'm doing. So for those of you guys that are looking for a way to do a show where you're covering topics or you're doing a course or you need somebody to incorporate the questions and say Paul is watching something else, right? Paul can go in and change it. So for instance, Paul, go over to the Open API homepage, grab any text and place that into the ticker instead of what we say down there, right? Oh, I see. Paul got freaking jokes. But you see what I'm saying? Look, my hands is over here, bro. I didn't do nothing. Paul actually went in there and changed that, right? Okay, next on the list is let's pick on Paul's age. So this is overlays.uno. If you're afraid and like, I don't really know how to do all that stuff, but I got the show that I want to do, fam, just go to overlays.uno. You know how to fill out a tax form online. You know how to use overlay.uno, period. Yo, what is up? Maui Toyota in the building. Man, I used to work at Servco way back in the day. Slinging them trucks. When Tacoma was like new and the 4Runner was part pickup. Yo, that's so cool. Good to see. So yes, cool for remote production collaboration, right? Albert, that's exactly what I mean, right? So praise Paul. Overlays.uno is like legit, right? So talking to one of my home people over here, we got Valley High Toyota in the building, right? Let's say you wanted to go down and cover a bunch of trucks that you have in inventory, right? I'm going to do like a leased vehicle type blowout. You can put in the list, let me point properly in the list over here. You can have like, you know, this is a Tacoma 2x2. This is a 4x4. This could be something like a 4Runner. This could be one of those joints that just has the, oh, why my brain is dumb. It's like the flatbed. It's got the front, but then there's nothing in the back, so you can build whatever cube you want. And you might talk about like used vehicles that you have, right? In the bottom down there, you could paste all the information that anybody would need to know, like how to contact your financing company to make sure you're getting the right rates or whatever. You can have that running across the bottom. You would have your name in this little lower third right here. And up in the top, you would just put, you know, like live. Or the person that's doing the live, it doesn't have to be live in the place, right? You could be like this, right? Don't edit that, Paul. Damn, do not hold the capital key when you do this. I just said not to do that. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. Then it should kick the time on in a second. Boom. You can do something like that. You know what I mean? So you can get in there and do some really cool stuff with Overlays.uno. I think it's one of the best things for anyone just starting out, trying to figure out how to do this, and they're not really, like super design oriented or design friendly. You just go to Overlays.uno, set something like this up, and go to town. And just so you know, they have tons. They have tons. You can do sports stuff. You can do new stuff. You can even just have a simple countdown timer. They're all in there. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you. All right, cool. So let's go back up to here. Remember, folks, you guys can get your questions in, but if you have anything pressing, ask them now, because I am doing a podcast talk or a podfest right after this. So I'm going to do this like 10 more minutes. And then I got to go run around the block real quick and get in my pre-presentation woosah mode. Woosah. So we got about 10 more minutes. If you have any questions, let's go. Let me show you the other windows that I have hidden real quick, but I hid those for the sake of not freaking people out. Let's drop down to I have my comments and reactions window. I want to show you. I am not on it or Fulgence. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, you guys can see down here at the bottom is my comments and reactions window. In the comments and reaction window, I can throw comment back to you if I'm on YouTube, right? The other platforms really don't allow for that. I have the ability to click on any comment and place this on the screen. So as we get those come in, I can design this. So for instance, if I would click on Paul right here and then lift it up a little bit, press the pencil, I have the ability to come in and change the font of this, right? So if I was to go to my font, let me go to Open Sans. I can switch it to anything you want. So it doesn't have to be, what you have there. You can pick basically any font. I would say keep it something readable. Don't go this bold. They're really hard to read. You definitely don't want to use something like that, really hard to read. But you can adjust the fonts. You can adjust the background color. So if I click on the background color and change the cheek lay, it'll be like that. And if I change the border, it'll be like that. So yeah, you can get in here and make adjustments. We will cancellate that and hope I didn't affect anything. Perfect. All right. Other things that you can do, I want to show you real quick about the overlays is, as I did this one is set up as a screen share, right? So if I were to put this over here, slap a camera in over here, just drag it up there. I'm going to change my camera shape to tall, put it there like this. Better call Paul, right? And then in this particular case, I'm going to do a prezo, right? So open up Keynote. Yes, you can. You can use an iPad. Yeah, I'll show you in 2 seconds. You absolutely can do that. So open up Keynote, and where did it go? Did you open? Woo, sir. All right, so I got my Keynote thing. I'm going to select on the slide. I'm going to go ahead and open it. It's thinking. Boom. In Keynote, the key element here, in the Windows menu at the top, you'll see how you want this to play, right? So when you go to play, I'm going to say in a window, not full screen. You want in a window, right? As long as you have it on play in a window, if I come down here and press play, this is my show, right? Now, I'm going to put this in the back real quick, bring up Ecamm, click on the pencil, change this guy to Keynote, and there it is, right? So now I am able to make, even if I move this off the screen because I have multiple monitors here, there's my slide. When I'm here, as I click on it, it just, changes on the slides. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you use that play in the window feature, this is altogether easier. Now, you can do cool things like crop this in so you don't have to see the desktop at all. You know what I mean? Just don't design close to the edge in your presentations so you can make it prettier like such, and then now it's just like it's playing in a little window. Look, you want to get real spicy with this? Let me turn this off. I'm going to take the border out, right? And then I'm going to shrink this up a little bit. Press on this real quick. Kill the corner radius. And then I'm going to go into my secret stash of files. Not really secret. I have a folder called Ecamm Live Assets where I keep, all the good that I need for shows and whatnot. And then I'm going to bring this in. I'm just a picture. Drag and drop. We're Mac people. We drag, we drop. I'm going to shrink this down just a little taste. Slap it up here in the corner so it looks like a full little, Mac Studio and a monitor. Grab my presentation window right here and put it on top for a split second. Line it up like such. There it is lined up. Drop it back underneath the monitor. Bam. Now there's my presentation, right? So if I'm over here rocking my keynote presentation, look, it's nothing. I mean, literally downloaded this Mac situation direct and then cut the center out and then use it for my presentation to hook up like that. So super easy stuff, people. Super easy stuff. Let me see. Okay, so Dean said, can you do that with an iPad? Let me show you, bro. This is an iPhone. iPad, iPhone, same smell. Different nostril. Right? The cable to which it had come. Plug that bad boy in. Simple. I'm going to open this bad boy up. Say trust. Need to type in the password. Boom. All right. Let's go to something banging. Let's do this real quick. All right. So there's my iPhone. I can come into my sources situation. I click this. This will start my iPhone. And then now I can just poop it up on the screen. Right? If I were to change this to tall because, hey, it's an iPhone, now you get a perfect look at what I see. Do you see what I see? Right? So, again, I can take this, switch my side. I go to Squircle, and then press my border back on, and then slap the corner radius back a little bit because I don't like it to be that rough, and then bam. So, yeah, I can totally just bring up my phone. iPad would be the same thing. It's just going to be the other direction. You know what I mean? But because I'm using the phone, I have it like this. iPad is exactly the same. You literally just plug it in. It will show up in your camera switcher down here on the bottom. You will have to click to activate it. We did that on purpose so people weren't accidentally plugging in their phones or their iPads and showing something they didn't want to show. You click it, it'll activate, and then now you can set it up down here as one of your cameras. And then, yeah, this is a full access to my phone. Now, one of the questions that always comes up, can we do that as a camera? Launch Filmic Pro. I almost forgot the name of the dang app, people. So Filmic Pro is going to launch. Got some updates I'll read about later. Look, I can just use it as a camera here. And then I tap the focus in that, right? With Filmic Pro, you can turn off the overlays so that they don't have to be in your way. But you can fully use this as your camera. As soon as I find my head, there's my head, right? So, yeah, you can get in there with your phone or your iPad as an additional camera. I thought I had it set up to automatically disappear, but maybe not. Anyway, super simple stuff. Booyaka. There you go. There you go. Checking questions. GOOGLE. No, seriously. I just went in and I looked for Mac Studio. Like, it was that simple. Like, I'm not even clowning, right? I changed that from my screen share. Let me change the screen share back to Chrome real quick. Chrome. And let's see. What did I have it on? Boom. All right, look. I legit did this. Go in here, look for Mac Studio Mockup, and then if you want to get spicy with it, you click on Tools, you go to Color, Transparent. And I found something like this. And then I just cut the whole out with Preview. Preview. Let me find one that's facing front. Oh, here we go. I'll use this notebook right here. There's a notebook. It's already cut out. Like, you don't have to do anything. You just download it. But yeah, this came from Pixabay. So if you go to Pixabay, you can find more. I don't know how I typed in Mac Studio and they gave me a MacBook, but this is probably the exact one I use. But if you go to Pixabay, you'll see more. So you can go to Show More, and then you'll find, I mean, there's nothing special about that. You can even just take one that you just straight up pulled up off the internet and cut the hole in it yourself, right? iMacs are kind of dated, but yeah, not that hard. Just go in there and find something you like. Just search for whatever the name of the machine is and mock up, and then knock yourself out. To punch a hole in it with Preview is super easy. Let me find one that needs punching. That's too ugly. Let's do this. iPad Pro mock-up. Actually, this one is super simple. This is probably going to have Creative Market written all over it, but of course it does. Don't buy that kind of stuff from Creative Market. They got better stuff to buy, but definitely don't buy that from there because it's too easy. Like that one is way too simple. Here you go. Right here on WikiPixels, right? So I just open image in a new tab. There it is. Drag it to my desktop. There it is. When I open it inside Preview, click on the markup tool, magic wand, check the middle, delete, save. That's it. So if I come back to Ecamm, pop a new scene, pop an iPad, shrink it, stick my face in there, go to custom, right? Turn off the border, line them up. That's it. That is it. Put the iPad back on the top, click on the folder, throw both items into the folder, lock them bad boys, and bam, in there like swimwear. Super simple. Super simple. All right, gang. Sorry, today has to be a truncated demo, but I need to go do this talk. We do the demo every Friday. There'll be definitely more. Yeah, mock up, not markup. The key is mock up. Mock up means to make a fake display, right? So it's mock up. That's it. Boom. What'd you say, Valid Vibes? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, man. You'd be surprised. There's so many dope like things like that you can find just in Google, and then cut them up in Preview. But if you don't have Preview, Canva will erase the background. There's so many AI tools to remove the unnecessary part of images now. Now you guys can get stupid creative with your setups because we have AI image fixing tools that can kind of sort of generate anything. So you can generate your own space with like Midjourney and make a hole in the planet for you to pop your head in. I mean, like you can go to town now. I've been having crazy fun. When I download Ecamm to my new iMac desktop, it says errors, but I send a ticket to support. So that would be really hard to guess what that is right now. Okay, so on my way to Podfest, people, I will see you guys on the flip. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Let's theme music it.
Coming straight out of Ecamm. Coming straight out of Ecamm. Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the sham. This is a jam for the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the sham. This is a jam for the Ecamm fam.